PMG Radio. Respect your jaw.
Good if you want. You know what I mean? Let's get to it, man. I want your point of view on this too. I don't know if you heard about it. Stephon Clark, young man who got killed in Sacramento by the police. He got killed in his backyard. I don't know if you heard about it. You heard about that, Kenya?
Yep, I did.
Heard about that? Danny, you heard about that?
I'm sick of these blue-eyed devils.
You know, he was pulling out. Well, let's start the story from the beginning. They were investigating, I believe they said, auto thefts.
Somebody vandalizing cars.
Somebody vandalizing cars in the area. Somehow they come across him. Only part of the story I don't have is why was he in the backyard?
It was his grandparents.
I mean, of course, he has the right to be in his backyard. I'm just saying, like, why was he in the backyard? Like, was he trying to go home, or like, was he leaving? Like, what was he doing?
Did he hear something out there that brought him out there? And
yeah, that's the only part of the story I don't got. Is like, why was he in the backyard?
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I don't know. I just know that he was. Was it his grandparents' backyard?
Yeah, it was his
I mean, it's his house because he lives there with them.
Oh, he lives there with them.
Yes, he lives there.
So
he's in his
No, he has every right to be in his
yeah.
backyard. Yeah. No, nobody's questioning that. He has every right to be in his backyard.
I think the story is bullshit that
in
they
the
feeding us though, because they said that they had an aerial view from the helicopters on top, which means you could have seen if he just ran into that backyard.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like, you know he didn't just get there, so why y'all pulling up on him?
Right. Well, even
and 20. Okay, go on.
No, 20 what? 20.
Didn't they shoot it 20 times?
20
so they
times
emptied
shot.
they shit on him.
And he was apparently pulling out his cell phone. So even in this day and age, we have officers who still believe for whatever reason that a cell phone looks like a gun. You know what I mean? Like,
because white people get to pull out a whole gun and they still try to talk them down. But as soon as a black person reaches in their pocket, they want to shoot them.
yeah. And you know, this comes down to something I've said constantly is that the problem is we have too many scared white people with guns and badges.
We have too much overzealous cops in the force, whether they're white, black,
well,
Spanish, or other.
when you
people with guns, period.
Yeah.
Black cops,
Yep.
civilians.
I agree.
In general.
Yeah, but you know, when you take an oath to protect and serve, and you're in these communities and you're in whatever kind of you know minority driven community, you cannot be fearful of black people. That's just what it comes down to. It's just we have too many scared cops with weapons.
You can be if your training is like 2 days. I don't know how long they train them out here, but compared to other countries, like in other countries, you get trained for months, years.
They're spitting them out way too fast, and they're not being properly trained. But on top of that, you're putting them in communities that they do not feel comfortable in.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Period. We need to see people who look like us patrolling our areas.
Or this is something I've always said. Or place them in the community for 6 months to a year so they can get familiar with the environment. You understand what I'm saying? It don't make no sense that you got cops who work in the hood in East New York but live in Long Island. You understand what I'm saying? You're not familiar with
the cops that do work the hood in East New York came from East New York. They just happened to move to Long Island and forget they came from East New York.
Right, but they're not familiar with that environment. That's why you have.
They are. They came from.
Yeah, but all right,
they grew up in East New York and in Brooklyn and in the Bronx. But when they get them jobs, they move out of the area.
Take the Kai Gurley story.
Different when they come back into
but
the area. They don't know what's going on.
Take the Kai Gurley story though, right? The young man who got shot in the pink houses, walking down the stairs. He was shot by an Asian cop who had no idea about nothing about the pink houses. And shot this young man just for simply trying to walk down the stairs because he was scared. Because he's in the projects and he's scared.
And his partner most likely came from the hood.
But it's
But
just,
you got to look at the fact, I feel like any cop starting a job is scared. That's a job that you have to
But should you take
into.
Should you take the job though if you scared?
I feel like you take the job because you want the job.
Right.
And I feel like once you get the job, some people, that's like parenting. Some people get it and don't realize they can't do it till after they got it.
There
they're
you
not
go.
capable of doing it till after they got it.
There you, I just feel like this. Even when we look at the Parkland shooting, when you look at that cop who was scared to go inside the building when the kid was shooting up them classrooms in Parkland. They have video of him standing outside the school because he's scared to go inside.
There was 2 of them, yes.
Yeah, like, so I feel like that's just a job you should not take if you are fearful. That's just not the job for you.
I think he was smart.
Who?
I would have kept my ass outside too.
No.
And that's the thing, because when it's easier said than done when you're not in that predicament. Like I can sit here and watch a nigga smack a chick and be like, dang, that's wrong. But then who knows what she did? I don't condone it, but it's like it's easier said than done when you're not in that predicament, or be like, oh well, I would have did this and they would put a gun in my face.
I mean, at this point though, I'm just really tired of the excuses and the stories of black men always being shot down.
Yeah, nice.
But then the next person will be like, well, you ain't do nothing, you ain't smack him. It's easier said than done. So who knows what went through them guys' head? Like, this is real. Like, you know, never thought they would have had to come up against something, regardless if they're in the school or security.
So if we're talking about fear, that goes back to training, though. Like, especially in New York, they're spitting these cops out way too fast. These cops are not being trained. Like, for you to have a gun in your hand and you be judge, jury, and executioner, for you to only be a couple of months in training, that's not adequate training. That's not adequate training to police anything.
It goes beyond training, because you can do a year in training and still don't know how you're gonna react when that gum come out in your face.
Yes,
but no. That's not true, cuz. I gotta disagree with that, cuz.
I disagree with that, because if you have on the job training where your partner
training and everybody's not gonna react the same when a gun come out in their face.
If you're partnered with someone who's been
who's gonna turn chicken, and they all got the same hour training, so training don't mean nothing.
I think training
when the actual problem confronts you, that's when you see how the person handle it. And you might got a person who got too much training handle it better than somebody who got a year's training. That's when the real test comes. It don't have nothing to do with the training. It's when you get up against the problem.
But the problem is, I agree with a little bit what Kenya said. They're not preparing them for these situations in the first place. You understand what I'm saying? They're not preparing them for these do or die situations that may come about in the first place. So you would know to have a little bit, just a slight little bit more patience to determine whether or not somebody's pulling out a gun or a cell phone if you had the proper training. You understand what I'm saying? Because a gun, I think we both can agree though, a gun don't look nothing like a cell phone.
It damn sure don't. It ain't even
like
shaped
at all. They don't look nothing alike.
A lot of time they don't even give them a chance to pull it out.
Right.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But
so it's like,
because they're so fearful. They're so fearful of what it might be that they don't take the time to determine what it actually is.
It's not even a fear of what it might be, because we've heard stories of white people literally in the process of shooting shit up, and they still come out of that situation alive. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And we have black people doing nothing and being shot dead on the spot. Like, it's been cases where it hasn't even taken officers 10 seconds before they start shooting.
Right, absolutely.
So there's a disconnect. There's something going on. They just do not like black people.
Yeah,
so let's call a spade a spade.
No,
let's
seriously.
be real. Let's just call a spade a spade. They don't like black people. They see us as animals.
I'm not gonna go that far. I'm not gonna go that far to say they don't like. That's like Kanye West saying Donald Trump.
No, they don't like black people though.
George Bush doesn't like black people.
You mean to
look at that? I don't look at all one group character.
I damn sure do, because they categorize us.
So you don't believe there's good cops?
I'm sick of white people.
Bad apples.
I am completely sick of white people.
We have cops in our family who's not bad apples.
Right.
I don't look at all cops.
No. They
are sick of white people.
Bad apples. All white people.
Hell, at this point, I don't even trust black cops when I see them.
You slide me, I'ma slide you. I don't care what race you.
Right. All right. Hold on. Let Mama Man Wise jump in here real quick, yo.
I feel like the a real big issue with like police training, police bias, really comes down to how. I mean, yes, a little bit of training, but also at the same time understanding exactly where their background is and what's their conception of what race is to them. You know, people don't talk about race. So if you don't talk about race, you're never going to be able to even comprehend how someone's going to react when you see someone who does not look like them, who is not from them. I mean, who is not from like the neighborhood that they're from. It is scary. I'd be in my backyard. My backyard, you can access my backyard from another street, the alley. Yeah, that I don't want cops looking for somebody else to see me on my cell phone in the backyard, whatever, and shoot me. Like, that is scary.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you how scary it is. The last time I got pulled over, not going, I don't get pulled over. Last time I got pulled over, I was on a very desolate block in Queens. I was on a very desolate block. It was quiet. There was nobody outside. I told the cop, I said, no disrespect to you, but I'm not going to reach into my glove compartment for my registration. I would rather I step out the car and you grab it. That's how scary it is out here now. Yes.
Yeah, that's smart.
Yes.
Yeah. No, that's a real fact. Because
and he was cool though, and he said, "Let me give you his response. I don't mean to cut you off.
No, you good.
His response was, I totally understand where you're coming from. I get it. Don't worry about it. Just go ahead and reach for it. It's not gonna be a problem.
I still wouldn't have moved.
You know what I'm saying? So, but it's just sad that your mind gotta go through it.
Clearance though, that's the problem. Like,
why do you have to do all of that when you're here to serve and protect? There's no protection. Like there's none. And it's sad that black families have to have these conversations with their kids as young as 5, and other races don't have to do that. But that's like a part of the growing process for a black boy now. Is when a cop approach you, say nothing. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. All this other stuff. Why is it that you have to literally like be kissing ass to save your life?
Yeah.
Even my baby brother, like and I feel bad, but I tell him that he can't go certain places because he's black. All of his friends is white in Georgia, and he don't get it that they're different. And I'm like, no, you can't go to the basketball court down the train tracks because God forbid the police come or whatever the case may be. You're the only black boy in a sea of white. They're going to fuck with you automatically.
Right. And you know what, man? It's just it's the most fucked up thing about it is that we're still hearing these stories in 2018. That we're still hearing these stories about unarmed black men getting killed for no reason.
Because the biggest turn they pass down the hate to their kids.
What can be done at this point?
Nothing.
Do we need to start killing cops?
You need to arm and protect yourself.
Is that what's the because
that's not the answer to kill cops because at the end of the day
I didn't say kill them.
I did.
I have had to talk
I wouldn't disagree with you.
My son is 23 years old.
Right.
I've had to talk with my son about the cops, but I've also had to talk with my son about the next black man who also will kill him. When my son goes out to these parties. Whether y'all want to hear it or not, I'm not thinking about the cops killing my son. I'm thinking about these niggas in these parties.
Yeah, absolutely.
Act tough and do something to my son.
Absolutely.
That comes on my mind first before the cops.
No, absolutely.
Sorry to say.
No, that's a fact.
And I understand that because that's the environment.
Crime, to me, is a bigger issue than cops shooting black. Because the same niggas, females, whoever will sit there and say cops shooting blacks is bad and still pick up a gun and shoot a black person too.
Right.
All these people marching for Black Lives Matter. Game said it the best. I march for Black Lives Matter, but nigga owe me money, I'll shoot him, I'll kill him. How many people in that crowd feel like that?
Who said that?
Still shoot a black man. The game.
Game?
Still shoot a black man.
Cause you listen to too much rap music, yo. Word up, yo.
The percentage
but I
of
think
cops
the issue
killing black men do not supersede the percentage of black men killing black men.
Indeed.
And like I said,
well,
my son leave out of my house on a daily basis. Just the other day, 2 days ago, he's around the corner with his friends shooting a video. You got some next niggas coming up on him now. He deals with these guys that my son don't gang bang none of that. Graduated, degrees and all that. My son don't play the streets. Period. They will tell you. He's out there with his friends. They shooting a little video. They got on some hoodies that some guys in Flatbush gave them shiggy gear. Yeah. I never heard of it, but they had it on. Come to find out, it's supposed to be some folk stuff.
Okay. They didn't know?
The guys in the video had it on. My son didn't have it on.
But they didn't know, though? Did they know what they had on?
That's beside the point. Right. In the process of them shooting the video, here comes some next guys want to walk up. What's that shiggy thing be like? Why is it your concern? You know what I'm saying? Thank God my husband was out there and was familiar with the other guys who walked up to dead the issue because it would have went beyond that just because they got on some shiggy gear. You know what I'm saying? I don't think about the cops. I think about these bozo niggas who want to put a name in the street, hollering that they in these different gangs and trying to prove something. That's what I worry about when my son walk the street because he don't gangbang.
All right,
now,
so
nobody thinking that he's
let me ask you a question.
A target.
Let me ask you a question. If one of the niggas in the street kill your son or a cop kill your son, who is most likely to get prosecuted for that?
Her next door neighbor.
The nigga in the street. See, that's the difference. When let me finish. Hold on. Dana.
You held to a different standard of arrest. It's not right, but it is what it is.
But that does that.
But as long as they can prove they fear for their life, it is what it is.
It's not that they're held to a different standard. It's just that they're not held to a different standard. They just protect each other.
Yeah.
They're not held to a different standard because if they were held to a different standard, they would be prosecuted. So they're not held to a different standard. They just protect one another.
If we can all prove we scared, that we were scared, everybody would get off on.
I view them like everybody else.
On what you call it? When you get off on protecting.
I don't know what we is because I don't put them on a higher level of anything.
Self-defense.
Cops more or less have that defense on their side from the jump, as long as they can prove that they feared for their life. Period.
But no. But
that's not being held to a higher standard. That's just them protecting each other.
Let's be real too, though. They get away with shootings they couldn't justify. Philando Castile just was pulled over on a random traffic stop. Didn't even reach for his weapon. Didn't do anything but sat there and got killed. Alton Sterling, his actual killer got away today. Yeah, today, right? With no charges. He was the guy in Alabama who got killed.
That got shot in the back.
Right. No, he went to jail. No, his cop went to jail, and that took a federal jury. Walter Sterling. But that took a federal jury. The initial local jury actually was a hung jury. They couldn't even decide.
They saw the video.
With the video, they couldn't decide whether that was right or wrong. They couldn't decide if a black man running away getting shot in the back was right or wrong. So that had to go to a federal jury for them to decide.
That's the thing.
Yeah,
it gotta be against them. They gotta feel fair. Yeah, whatever's against them, and they can get off. Us as civilians, we can't do that.
Yeah, but I think black. Here's the difference between black on black crime and cops killing people, is that when black on black crime happens, that will be investigated to the furthest extent until somebody is captured and put in jail. When white cops kill people, they might get indicted. Who knows? Might the most, but the likelihood of an conviction is not going to happen. We all know that. Cops are getting away with killing people every day.
Don't get killed. Plenty cold case crime. Plenty niggas done jump bail and skeeted out here. So who knows if my son killer if he's black?
No.
But as a civilian, your job is not to protect and serve.
Stay with me though. Yeah.
I don't even want him to have that option. Period. But it is what it is.
All right, so
have both conversations. Period.
Right. No, absolutely. Now, I get what you're saying. A lot of
people try to shine the light on black crime to not really focus on cops killing civilians.
Do you believe there's good cops? Do you believe there's good cops?
I do believe there's good cops.
No, be honest.
I believe there's good cops because my next door neighbor in Georgia is a cop, and I've been around him for the last 10, 11 years. Mm-hmm. So I do believe there are good cops. But I'm still sick of cops, period, as a whole. And I look at them as a whole. Because at the end of the day, when shit goes down, that blue wall, they don't give a fuck about you. They're going to sit there and they're going to protect their brother.
Right, but this is the whole thing. The only thing that bothers me, the only thing that bothers me is looking at people as a whole. Though this is the problem, because a stereotype is a stereotype is a stereotype.
Absolutely.
We say all cops are this. They say all black people are that. So if we're justified to say all cops are this because this cop did this cop did that, even though they're back, they they have a larger backing. I get it. Mm-hmm. The point is, a stereotype is a stereotype. So in a sense, they could be justified to be like, yeah, that dude reached into his phone. We know that black people kill each other. We know that black people have a high crime rate.
Chinese people
that's my whole point. But it's stereotypes. It's stereotypes.
Their neighbors are. That's why I hate when people talk about black on black crime. White people kill each other. White people kill each other.
I'm not worried about white people killing. I live in Brownsville.
But what I'm just saying though, white people black crime because everybody kill their neighbors.
I'm worried about the black on now. If I do happen to move to Georgia, like where your family is, then I'm gonna have.
Oh, don't worry. There's gonna be white people in Brownsville soon enough. Don't worry about it.
It's relative. It's relative.
Yeah,
it's relative to where you are.
But they black, white, Chinese. You got bozo. You got Chinese people walking down Canal Street. They see a black person, white person by themselves. They feel like they got to jump on. So no matter where you at, can happen to you.
Yeah, the biggest thing, especially in terms of like the phrase black on black crime, is really just proximity crime. People who live in within a specific area. There's a likelihood.
I'm
There's a
sorry, Wise.
livelihood
I gotta
statistically
stop you.
speaking- Go ahead.
No, but niggas kill each other for no reason, though.
Okay, but
it's
that's
not
still
just
proximity.
it's not. It's not just because. No, it's not. I'm not gonna just put it on that.
And that's what I'm saying about if my son was on Canal Street. You got a bunch of people who
But
just
that's
take
still
the house.
proximity.
All right, hold on.
They probably was about to rob nobody, but now they see somebody.
All right, so why is it? Hold on. Dana, hold on. Dana, hold on.
Be careful.
Hold on. Why is it that when gentrification does happen, then we'll let the white people who have way more than any niggas ever gonna have, we'll let them slide though, but we'll still kill each other. And gentrification. I'm saying when gentrification happens.
But it's not.
It's not even that. It's not even that because even though you have one blue Betty in a community, you still have 30 other black people for every one white person. You know that if you touch that white bitch, that they gonna come and invade your neighborhood. So you say
slide. Who's safe in the hood? A white person is safer in the hood than a black person, right?
Absolutely. The bitch is white. She gonna bring heat to your shit.
A white person is safer in the hood than a black person, right? No, in any hood.
I'm not gonna doubt that.
It depends, man. I've been in some neighborhoods as a black person and not felt safe.
You got
So
the projects out in Sheepshead Bay. Them Russians and Italians that live in Nostrand Project and Sheepshead Bay Project think they fucking black.
First of all, Russians ain't white. Russians will kill you. Russians ain't white.
Russians are not white.
Russians are not white. Russians are Russians.
In that environment, and they're doing the same shit that they
Russians bust their gun faster than black people. Cuz.
Chop your ass up.
Yo, do you know? Yo, cuz.
products of their environment.
Yo, do you know what a Russian will do to you?
Cuz that's everybody.
Yeah, Russians
Every-
that life.
A Russian is gangster.
Get on the project is just like me and you.
But see, it all goes back to
That's why I say
stereotypes,
man.
and
I don't
proximity.
think
But the difference
Let Wise finish, y'all. Hold on. Let Wise finish.
the difference is like we will have stereotypes about each other. That is a human thing to have. We will have stereotypes, right? The difference is when your stereotype is backed by a state power, or the power that you have based on what the government, or AKA the people, gave to you. So your stereotype cannot allow you to do something, because if that is the cause, then you failed. You are not a noble cop. People expect cops to be noble. If you are not a noble cop, those people need to get weeded out of the cop forces and stuff like that. Well, that comes from within. We can do as much as we can from the outside, but we all know that change happens from inside.
You know what? I've had good and bad experiences with the police.
Same.
I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say every experience I had with the police was bad. I've actually had times where I was dead wrong and the cops said, you know what, go ahead.
Yeah.
You know
Because
what I
they're
mean?
human beings. They're people too. Like they do have different personalities, different characters. I do understand that they're would you call it a cult? Is that what you said? You said they're a cult.
They are a cult.
But did you have a bad experience and the cop told you that the other cop was wrong?
Oh, never.
Oh,
you know that'll never happen. No, that'll never happen. No, never.
You gotta call a supervisor. You gotta call a supervisor though. Like people.
No,
I mean, honestly,
even the supervisor's not gonna say. The supervisor right there not gonna say he wrong.
All right, the supervisor won't say it, but the supervisor will bring down the situation. They will de-escalate the situation, because that's what a cop is supposed to do. So a lot of this also is kind of built into knowing what you can and what you legally can and can't say to a cop. If you ask for a supervisor, all that shit is held up until that supervisor gets there.
Right.
So whatever bad decision that they about to make, like, oh, not even if you on a traffic there are certain parts where it does not work.
They came up and they was holding me on a gun charge, and he came. You can ask for it.
All right. We ain't not here to indict you now. Hold on. We on the radio. Remember, we on the radio. Hold on. Chill out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Bring your family free more often.
Exactly, because
I love
You go
Dana.
to court. That's why I tell my son, y'all want to be in the streets and courts go hand in hand. People want to be inside lawyers once you get arrested. No, know that shit before you
beforehand,
get in there.
exactly.
You tell that lawyer, this is my motion I want you to put in. He has to do it,
Yeah.
whether it's legal aid or not.
Exactly.
You don't know, and he's not gonna suggest arrested.
How many times you been locked up?
If you requested a supervisor and they didn't come, that is a drop. That is basically a breakdown in their system.
Violation of your rights.
Exactly. So that's a quick, easy way to get off a charge. So if you ask for one and they don't bring that shit and they take you in and do whatever it is, and then you go and speak to people and you're like, nah, actually I called the supervisor, they never came through, whatever. It's gonna be their word against yours, and that creates doubt for you to get off.
Okay,
eventually.
so my question is, the bigger question is, because this dude was shot on his property. If you're not even safe in your own backyard, in your own house, from the fucking cops, then where can you be safe?
I know for a fact you're not safe in your house for the cops.
Yeah, and that
running and shot people in the Bronx. Matter of fact, in the Bronx, a cop ran in, shot. He like something happened, whatever it is. He ran in.
All right, so all that extra shit about black on black crime, like proximity crime and everything like that. At the end of the day, if you're not safe in your house from the police, the people who are supposed to protect and serve,
Marley Graham. I can't remember Marley Graham.
As a race, we are not safe here. Period.
Because we
You're
don't allow
not safe
ourselves
in your house
to be
from
safe.
anybody.
We don't
There's
allow
home
ourselves to be
invasions
safe.
going
What
on.
Jewish people do?
I live in a nice neighborhood. I'm safe.
Yeah, but white people, black people like to always.
I live in a nice neighborhood. I'm good.
Forgiving my goddamn nerves. Y'all open y'all fucking hands to everybody and allow everybody into your fucking community in your homes. Y'all gotta lock that shit. Y'all gotta lock them people out. Like seriously, except for black people.
You know, we got little Italy, little Asia. I ain't see a little Africa.
Little Africa is 125th, nigga. What you talking about? Yeah.
Fuck out of here, white people. Them white people and them Scientologists that moved into that shit too.
Yo, here's the biggest question though. I want to ask the room, right? In this day and age, when we're still like we done tried everything, they say you'll be patient, let the court system play out, go through the motions, go through that whole process. We let the whole process play out. We come back not guilty. You understand what I'm saying? The cop who killed a Kai Gurley for no reason.
Who's the top judge? Like who's the judge?
Supreme. There's no one top judge. There's Supreme Court. I think it's like five or six of them.
Five
of them in the Supreme Court. But we hear these stories. You know that.
That's what it is. They get lifetime terms.
But the problem. No. It's not dumb because you know what you got to go through to even get to the Supreme Court. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's that. No, cuz no. I'm just saying you got to get there first. They don't even like deal with that. Like, that's way some whole other shit. You got to even get up there. But what I'm saying is, when you have this day and age, when you're still hearing these stories, and we done heard these stories for about probably during all of our lifetimes, we done heard these stories way too many times. What's the answer? Like, what do we do as a people? They say, such and such died. He got killed by the cops. Go to court. Let the process play out. Let justice turn its wheels. That shit don't work. You understand what I'm saying? We done tried that over and over and over and over again. That shit clearly don't work. You understand what I'm saying? What do we do?
I mean, my answer is economy. You got to build your economy because without economy, you ain't shit. At the end of the day, the reason why a white person can
police your own neighborhood, spend in your own neighborhood, own in your own neighborhood, because like Liz, it's all about money.
Community. That's building your economy. Like money is power.
There's no regular cops in Jewish neighborhoods. They got their own police.
They damn sure do.
That's a fact, though. That really is a fact.
We need to do the same thing. We have to police our own.
Tell them like we need to police our own neighborhoods. Y'all got jurisdiction outside.
We need people who look like us in our neighborhoods.
If enough people sign up for that, we can actually have our own community out here in New York. Niggas just.
But that nah. I don't like to look at things just from a New York perspective because there's black people all over the world, right? You know, there are some black people who will definitely be protected by they live in their own neighborhood, so they have their own police force. But what do we do for the person that lives in a 99.1%, white community? How do we help?
First of all, I don't want to live nowhere where there's nothing but white people. You know what I mean?
I'm saying, like,
that means it ain't no fried chicken or nothing around.
Nah, but doing the same thing.
Right.
But doing the same thing over and over again is insanity, and clearly gentrification is not working because people are angry about it. It's pushing people out of homes. It's unsettling communities that have been there forever.
Because we angry. Niggas don't give a fuck if we angry. We always angry. Niggas don't care.
At the end of the day, I try to protect my son. Regardless if I'm marching or protesting, I can't save everybody, but I can do what I can do for mine.
No, that's where it started, though.
They say charity
For my
begins at
son.
home, innit?
That's where it started. That's where it started.
Gang bang, he ain't with none of that.
Yeah, I
And
got
that
you.
comes from me talking to him, his father talking to him, the mentality we instill in him, that we wouldn't agree with this if you was to do this. That's how he grew up. And even in our family, how many of us is it? How many's in jail? We have over 60 first cousins.
I think only Fred? I think Fred the only one
Fred's
still in
the
jail.
only
Yeah,
one in
Fred is the only
jail.
one in jail. Yeah.
When you got some families who got 3 cousins and all them crackheads are in jail. Our family didn't instill that in us. That's
No,
what I
we did
tell
all
people
right.
that
Yeah,
all
we
the
did all
time.
right.
I got so many male cousins and ain't none of them in jail. Why is that? From grandma values, our mother values,
No, I mean we
all
do,
that.
but hold on, we do what we got to do though.
Exactly, but where does it
All
put
right,
us in
Pedro.
jail?
We do, huh?
Does it put us in
Thanks for
jail?
clarifying.
No, I'm just
You
saying
make a
we
good
do.
point, though.
We do what we
Like
got
I
to
said,
do though.
my grandmother had 15 kids.
But it's always
So
gonna
you
come down to
do the
that.
math on the cousins. So have one cousin in jail? Come on now. That's your ethics, your morals, your manners. That's what was instilled in us, and that's what I instill in my son.
But not every. But not.
Exactly.
Okay,
so
but
I can only do what I can reach as my son.
We
I
have
can
to
help
think
out
back, though.
with marches and stuff, but I focus on my
No,
son.
we have to.
and instill the
We have to.
values
We have to
grandmother
think
put
back.
in us.
There are a
That's
lot
why
of
he the way
people.
he
There are a
is.
lot of people who, I mean, first off, slave trade did cause a lot of people to lose that sense of family, that sense of kinship. You know?
Absolutely.
So y'all might feel like that. I feel like that the same way. I don't got no cousins that's in prison, right? At the same time, there are some people who don't have that connection with their
But I'm
family.
talking about
It's
having
them.
that many cousins
Yeah, but it's
and
them.
none in
It's
prison,
them. It's
or
them,
none
and they
crackheads
and
or
you know, and
dopeheads
they've
or
died.
There's no
That's
unity
it.
in
Take
that.
care
Yeah,
of
that's what I'm
their
saying. Like
families, you
it
know
still
what I'm
takes
saying?
one.
That was supposed to be broken, and that's unity.
So
Change all these
fixing that is really what we gotta do right now.
I'm
You say,
like,
hold on. Let me hold on. Let me.
take all these dynamics.
Yes.
Are you saying it's so systemic that it's gonna take a long time for us to bring it back around?
No, I do think it is systemic. I don't think that. I think us people waiting for the system to fix its own systemic problem is not gonna be the cause. We gonna fix our own shit. And even if the system does fix, who the fuck cares? We would have handled all our stuff or whatever, and built that system internally. That's what I'm saying. That's what we need to
That
do.
is the only way.
That's all.
That's all I have to say
The
about
only
it.
way. That is the only way.
Anything else is irrelevant. You can be as mad as you want to be. You got to do something about it.
But
White people don't hate on each other like that, yo.
they got a system. They got a system. They
That's
got a
what
system.
it is. Like, niggas never want to see nobody be in charge. Everybody want to be the boss. You gotta play your position. That's
Well,
what
if somebody
people-
is, the
that's-
boss nigga gonna snake him. And that's
That's-
your
and
best
that's the
right hand
problem.
man.
Nobody
That's
want to
why
play
he's
their
snaking
position.
you. He
gotta
want to be
play
the
their
boss.
position. That's the only way we're gonna move forward as a race. Is everybody play their position, but everybody want to be the leader of the cause, but nobody want to put in the work to do it. And the person who put in the work, the nigga want to take him down and take credit for it.